I would say good morning, everyone, but it is not a good morning.
It's a sad day. Everybody.
Welcome to Six Flags Great Adventure. We're here just after Halloween on a Saturday so we can pay our respects to Kingda Ka and get what will be our final rides in.
Yeah, so if you're not hip to this, wow, I look so ridiculous in this. I love it.
I love that we're here to support Kingda Ka and you've got your bullhorns on.
I'm sorry, do you have a headpiece that would work for Kingda Ka?
I need a top hat that goes over. Anyways, you were gonna say something?
Oh, a top hat. That would have been smart. Anyway, not important. But if you haven't been upkept on the swirlings going about Kingda Ka, now that the merger between Cedar Fair and Six Flags has gone through, it seems like they are wanting to remove some of the more costly and or problematic rides. And Kingda Ka is definitely one of those very expensive, costly to maintain rides. And despite being an absolute icon, like all over the world, it seems that its life is coming to an end too soon, in my opinion, but...
Yeah, and probably the most unfortunate thing about this is Great Adventure has been completely silent about it.
Yes.
So this is all coming from information from people who know more than we do.
Yes.
So we are not saying this to be dramatic. We are being completely serious. We have been hearing a lot of talk over the past month, even two, and we have heard nothing positive regarding Ka's future. This is something to take seriously.
Yeah, we are here at a time that is like not really convenient for us, so hopefully that shows that we are serious, because we would not have flown here this weekend if we
canceled plans,
yes.
So we could come here for this.
Correct.
Kingda Ka has also been a little finicky as of recently. From what we understand, it is on one train. The other trains are having some issues, and so quite literally, if that train goes, they're already planning on like taking out. They could just be like, all right, we're done. It could just close and that'll be it. Right?
To put it lightly, this coaster is in hospice care right now, so it's not looking great.
Yeah, so we're gonna go on into the park. We're gonna share with you guys our final experiences on Kingda Ka, and we're also gonna talk about some of the other attractions to be closing here at Great Adventure, because if that wasn't enough, there are some other rides that are slated to close. This park is in not so great state right now.
Happy 50th!
Happy 50th. Let's go on in. And welcome in, just on the other side of the turnstiles. Here's our first big change since the last time we were here. You get this crazy view of their new for 2025, supposed to be 2024, new Super Boomerang by Vekoma, the first in North America. It runs parallel to the front entrance. Very, very cool to see. We'll get closer a little later. Something else we'll note, the park is open until midnight tonight, so we'll be getting night rides, which we're super excited about, and we do anticipate it being busy with it being a Saturday, so we have Flash Pass. We have made it over by Kingda Ka. Before we even hop on it, Sarah, is there something you'd like to show us?
Yes, I like to consider myself a bit of a detective. And there's something under my feet right now that is a very big clue as to what is to come.
They have markers on the ground here in front of Ka.
Yep.
It's very specific because you don't see those anywhere else in the park, at least not that we can find.
No, the last time we saw markers was when they were getting ready to build Flash. And Flash is there now, so they usually don't put them there willy-nilly, huh?
Yep, that was very intentional. Hey, Taylor here from the future, just jumping in to say what you're currently looking at are markers for communication lines. These are placed before planned construction so that upcoming excavation doesn't mess with those lines. They want to make sure crews are aware, and actually, as we walked around Kingda Ka later that day, we saw more of these markers surrounding the tower. Those did not used to be there. So, sure enough, as expected, Kingda Ka is having some technical issues, but it just opened, so they're filing people into the queue, and we just saw it is on one train. Before we put our stuff in the lockers, is there something else that we should acknowledge?
Yeah, Zimajaro is for certain done because there's not a sign left. Everything's blocked off. It hasn't cycled pretty much all year, maybe a few times. And if Ka's coming down, I mean, it is not like self-sufficient. You know, it needs the tower to exist. And they're obviously not going to leave the tower without running Kingda Ka. So,
Rip the world's tallest drop tower.
The world's tallest drop tower and the world's tallest roller coaster. Like the two biggest like marketing pieces of this park.
Gone. Yeah. What a tragedy. But there it goes. Full train of riders. Very happy to be experiencing this thing while they still can. Our first ride of the day there on Kingda Ka. Our first of hopefully many. Again, we have the flash passes today, so we're going to use it. Although it is building up quite a bit of a line, and for good reason. There's a lot of enthusiasts here.
Oh my God,
it's
there's
very
so many.
popular. Everyone's wanting to ride.
And the energy is like really, really awesome. I'm very happy at the turnout.
I love that the word is spreading so that people know to come get their last rides in while they still can, because I feel like a lot of people would be really sad if they missed it. Which the sad reality is that
Most will.
Most
They didn't give any heads up.
Exactly. Most of the an average person who's not following the amusement industry isn't gonna know. They're gonna be blindsided by this.
Well, it's not even just that. It's like to do a last minute trip is not cheap. So you have to have the resources to basically drop everything and get a last minute flight somewhere or drive if you want to do it. And if they were to give a year, hey, 2025 is the last season, then people have a lot more time to plan ahead and budget for it and everything. So if I haven't made it abundantly clear, I very much disagree with this decision-making process that they're using here.
Yeah. It seems like in the original discussions, 2025 was the plan to close it, but they have fast-tracked that decision, and it's just really, really unfortunate. And honestly, after riding again, I can kind of see why, because it's not in the best shape.
Yeah, it's definitely shaken a little bit.
It always has been, but
more.
it's more than usual.
And the sounds that are coming out of it, when it's even when it's exiting the station, it's squeaking a lot, it more than I've ever remembered it.
Even during the ride, at some points you can hear it. It's surprising.
Yeah.
It's still really good, obviously.
my God.
I still really, really like the launch. I mean, there's a reason we're so sad about it. It's a
Absolutely.
crazy sensation.
I cried on the launch track on our first ride. I will cry at the end of this video too.
Yeah.
So get ready for that.
Interestingly enough, they are on 2 trains. So remember when we walked up and it was not open? They were cycling on one, and then it was having problems. So they put the other train on. That one was having problems, and so now they've somehow got it where they both are operating at the same time.
Train roulette with all the
functional.
trains.
It definitely is train roulette. They're playing the game of odds. Let's see what happens. And I wouldn't be surprised if it throws some more faults later on, and maybe it does go down to 1 for a longer period of time. I don't know. It's tough to say. Apparently yesterday it was on 1 train all day.
In my delusional mind, the roller coaster knows that it's coming to an end, and it's gonna put every ounce of effort that it has into staying open all day with 2 trains. And it's this is I'm going out with a bang, big time.
Jen's back from Europe. Hey, how was your ride on Kingda Ka?
It was fine. It's a little rough today, but it's good. It's still really, really good.
We put a sanction into place that Jen is not allowed to talk about a certain ride at Dorney Park today, because today is a day focused on this coaster.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about Talon, okay?
Except I was gonna come on and be like, it's not as smooth as Talon at Dorney Park.
Yep,
which
nope,
is
that
true.
was it. No more.
There you go.
No, you're banned.
All right, what about you guys? How was your ride on Kingda Ka?
It was a ride. I'm kind of indifferent on Ka, but I'm glad I got to come back. It sounded like it was really struggling. So
Yeah, the sounds that came from that thing were not super pleasant.
yeah, it was very squeaky. I don't know. I just missed Top Thrill.
It ran better than I remember. The launch still has a kick.
That was actually my first ride on this. So
Really? What'd you think?
It was great. I like Dragster more, but it's still a very, very fun ride. The launch is awesome.
Okay, good. Matt, how was your ride?
Kingda freaking Ka. That ride rules, man. I love that thing. Gonna miss it.
You should get the shirt that says
Tears.
that. Kingda freaking Ka.
If they weren't all 3X, I
Yes!
totally freaking would.
Everyone is looting the stores right
Yeah,
now because they know, everyone knows what's about to happen. Everyone's we've got to buy up the merch.
Yeah, I looked at the
I'm
merch.
placing the merch because
Exactly.
it's gone.
Yeah, no, there's no good merch left. It's all XXL.
I bought a double X. I'm not going to lie. It'll be my sleep shirt.
This train doesn't even have seats. And there's no seat back either. The restraints are just in complete disarray.
So sad. I know it's an inanimate object, but at some point it took its last trip over that top hat and it didn't know it.
Well, and this is clearly one of the trains that they started to refurb and then decided not to finish it once they knew it was going to close. And so this thing's likely just going straight to the dumpster. They're not going to finish this refurb. And then right there, you can see next to the support a stake with the flag on it. Gabby, you just took your first ride on Kingda Ka for the day. How
In
was
a long
it?
time too. Oh, it was so good. It's one of my favorites. It's a classic. I mean, it's obviously very nostalgic to me for many reasons. But it was great. I sat in the second row. My face did not flap.
Do you have photo proof?
I do have. Well, yeah. I mean, my face is flapping a little bit in the photo, actually. Since my last ride, I've had a facelift, a lot of Botox,
Yeah.
and now everything stays in place.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I really didn't do it.
Losing Kingda Ka is a huge deal, and unfortunately, some of its next door neighbors aren't going to be sticking around either. We're right here next to Twister, the Top Spin, and the parachutes. Now, the parachutes have already closed, but the tower still there. Top Spin still operating, but certainly a bit of a problem child here at the park. I don't know, personally, I'm not a huge fan of it, so don't expect either of these rides to be sticking around for next year. And in my opinion, that is just a crying shame, especially for the parachutes. Very, very unique ride system. I remember Six Flags Over Texas used to have theirs as well, and they knocked that down. So Great Adventure was the only one left, to my knowledge.
All right, so we're gonna start with the less sad of the two goodbyes we're gonna have today. Green Lantern. I don't really like this ride. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool in the skyline. It's one of the first things you see when you come here to Six Flags Great Adventure, but it's not good.
No.
It's definitely, it's relocated, and it's a stand-up coaster, which are not usually people's preferred kind of rides.
Yeah, I mean, I like the new gen, like Pipeline's great, but yeah, the old ones, I just feel like at the height that I'm at, like where the restraints sit, it's just a lot of ear banging specifically. This is interesting though, because only one other B&M has technically fully closed before.
Dueling Dragons
Correct.
at Islands. I mean, the others, Hulk and Nemesis, were redone, so does it really count? Up for debate.
Yeah, but if this is like demolished and it doesn't get relocated somewhere, this would only be the second one to ever like bite the dust, which is kind of crazy, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's time for it to go. I guess we should go for a ride and then decide for ourselves. And sure enough, as we're over here by Green Lantern, there's another one of those markings that we saw by Kingda Ka. Coincidence? I'm gonna say definitely not.
My boy Green Lantern, not looking so hot.
It's funny standing here in front of Green Lantern filming some off-ride shots of it because it takes me back to the oldest video that is still on Coaster Studios. So I first visited Great Adventure in spring 2013 and I posted like a single shot off-ride of Green Lantern. And at this point, it's the oldest video that's still left on the channel. And now here we are and Green Lantern's about to close. So I'm not saying that I have a sentimental attachment to it, but it is kind of fun. We all just took over the first two rows on Green Lantern, saying our final goodbyes to this not beloved attraction.
I say, it was more like a good riddance. It was like a, yeah.
Something like that. So Dan, how was your last ride?
Well, I live less than an hour away, and that was my first ride in 2 years. And the ride was as I remembered it.
Ah, excellent.
What about you, Nick?
I asked Taylor why we were doing this, and he said to say goodbye. And I said, well, I could have waved at a picture, and it would probably have been a better experience.
I mean, you're literally dressed in all green right now. Like, is this for?
This is why I'm here.
The other green
It's
coaster.
the rest in peace to the green coasters.
Sorry to flash your camera. I don't know if that's allowed. Yeah, it was as expected. It was more headbanging than anything, so I'm grateful for that. See ya, Green Lantern.
Gabby, that was only your second ever ride on this
second
thing.
and final time.
Yeah. I think your first ride on it was also our last time on it. It was like
Really? It's been 2 years?
Yeah, it was like I want to say April 2022.
Yeah, that's when I was here.
So how was it getting back on it?
I think like I had some better strategies going into this round that allowed for much better gameplay, less headbanging, more vibing. But I will tell you, it felt like the longest ride in the existence, and I was like, my legs were hurting by the end. I was like, this is not fun. What is happening? But you know what? It was for old time's sake. It was good.
Old time's sake, the one other time.
Yeah, I mean, like, this thing has had quite the life, right? It was Chang, then it was Green Lantern, and now it's going to be Landfill.
Was it? It's gonna be landfill. Was it one of the
like
first
that.
standing coasters?
What?
I don't know, but honestly, it's one of the best
kind of a
layouts.
legend.
I feel like.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like you have to. If you look at it from a layout perspective, it's actually pretty good. Like it's very forceful. If you keep your head forward, it's very
You gotta
tolerable.
full-on turtleneck it. Here's the thing.
Yeah, you do.
I think if they were to send this to another park within the chain and throw some floorless trains on it instead, it's a great layout. I think it would be well received, quite honestly.
Michigan's Adventure would be so happy to have something. There's a reason that most people here will do it once and then they move on. So honestly, I think that it is smart to remove that attraction because the reality is that it's not popular. The best it does is it's a capacity machine. And so,
Yeah.
well, kind of. It's supposed to be, but not with those ops. So,
Yeah.
like,
No,
it kind of is, kind of isn't.
like all the B&Ms here though, it is good for like when they have high crowds, but in the last several years this park's attendance just isn't what it used to be. So like as much as it's tough that they're losing a lot of capacity, it's coming at a time where they can afford it more as far as how many people are actually entering this park. And eventually I hope that they're putting something in that will help like balance it back out and then also draw more people in and just I want to see this park do well, if it isn't abundantly clear.
I think there's definitely a lot of potential, but we'll just have to wait and see. I think they're going to be a little bit more pressed to replace another attraction before they replace Green Lantern. You know, we're talking bad news for icons here at Six Flags Great Adventure. Here's the worst news yet. Yum Yum Cafe is staying. Oh, I'm so bummed. This thing is so ugly. They really should replace this. Yeah, all these things they're trying to take out of Great Adventure. You should do that next. As magnificent as this view is, it is sad that soon Ka will no longer be a part of it, and potentially there might be another ride here that we don't know what the future is of it, the Sky Ride. It's been closed for a long time. Maybe it's getting refurbed, maybe it's done. A lot of parks have been removing their Sky Rides.
This is like the view of this park. I feel like this is the most iconic spot, and it's sad because like the mine train's very old, Toro has been problematic, and Kingda Ka is definitely going, and I just worry that someday like this view just won't even exist as it does anymore. It's just sad.
As we walk over to the other side of the park, this is a change for their 50th anniversary that actually I really like. They open up this entire space, so now you can look clear down, see the carousel. On the other end, there's a pathway leading to Toro, and it's just like way more pleasant of an experience. Great Adventure is also giving guests the opportunity to get a personalized brick that is part of the pathway. As you can see, there is a lot of space, so if that's something you're interested in, very cool opportunity. Cyborg Cyberspin, right behind us, is one of the more unreliable rides here at Six Flags Great Adventure.
I don't like it.
It's not comfortable. We did it like once, and funny enough, there was actually a sister built over at Six Flags Over Texas that has already been removed, so it's not that far-fetched to say that this thing could be on the chopping block, especially when there's literally a fence around it right now. No one can even ride it.
Yeah, and it's like, it obstructs this like really awesome view of Flash, so I imagine that also plays a factor. It's just not the most popular ride. It really isn't. It's just an uncomfortable flat.
Yeah,
So,
which is unfortunate because, you know, it's funny, when this thing was like rumored to be built, we actually speculated that, you know, it could potentially be taking part of the land that was occupied by Cyborg, but clearly they're like, oh, we can keep it, but now I'm not so sure. So I don't know, this is one to keep your eye on.
can I just say, when we were speculating about this, like whatever it was, like a year or so ago, I thought this was going to have a way larger footprint than it does. It
Oh,
actually
Flash,
takes up
yeah.
less room than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, this is also our first time seeing it testing. We've already posted a full video of like many test runs, but there you can see it go right there. They're doing like a lot of runs and cycles on this thing.
It looks fun. It's going slow, but that's, it's empty. It hasn't run that much.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it's sort of intentional because it gives you that like elongated feeling of hang time and stuff. In a couple of spots, probably.
Yeah,
cool.
this ride's gonna have a lot of hang time. It looks very cool. It sucks that the capacity is gonna be garbage, which is a bummer because by removing Kingda Ka, Zumanjaro, Green Lantern, Cyborg potentially, the top spin, you're removing capacity. And then you're adding a ride that is low capacity.
I know, they're putting a whole lot on Flash being able to handle all those people at once.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still looking forward to it, but it was a choice. We got 1 more hour till the park closes, so we're heading over to Kingda Ka.
I've been avoiding coming back over here as much as possible.
Yeah.
I'm like not ready to face the music, honestly.
Our goal is to get, I would say, at least 2 more rides, which, night rides on Kingda Ka, freaking awesome.
So I will say, like I said, I've been coming here for a very long time now, and back in the day, the tower wasn't always lit up, and when you would get like a night ride, like it was like pitch dark,
blasting into the darkness.
At the top. And I always said, it was like being on a rocket ship, like shooting straight up to the stars. And that was what I thought the first time I ever did a night ride on this thing. And it was like super magical. I always remember that.
Yeah.
This is my first night ride on King.
Oh, sick. Your first and your last in one. That's cool. I'm sorry. I'm being so savage right now. I can't. Gabby, come back. Stop crying. Gabby. Come on. No, it's okay.
Head back. Hold on.
Yo, shout out to these ride operators. They are literally so fast. We just did like multiple rides in a row, and I'm so impressed at the speed and efficiency of this team. Look at them go. Oh my gosh. They're hustling. Props to this team. I'm literally so impressed. Look at that energy. Dispatching a train, and then here's the next one coming back in. That is fantastic. That train is parking on the launch, and that one just hit the brake run right there. In the future, when people are talking about some of the fastest operations they've seen, like examples of good ops, I'm gonna reference Kingda Ka tonight in this crew. Hats off to you guys. This is the proper way to operate an icon. I couldn't have asked for a better ending to a bittersweet day. We got probably 10 laps there on Kingda Ka. We put our stuff in the locker, and we just used our flash pass to just keep going around. The ops were incredible.
Oh my God,
we
they
were
so
able
fast.
to just keep riding, and it was wonderful.
The energy in the queue was incredible. Everyone was cheering. Everyone was excited. It was just a really sad, send off.
Our final ride of the night and maybe ever it was in the front row, and it was really sweet. It was full circle for me, and my face, it flapped a little harder than the first time.
This felt like an untimely goodbye to an old friend. I've been coming to Great Adventure since I was 13, and I'm old now, so go figure. I've been riding this thing for years. It was one of those rides that helped me transition from roller coasters that are scary to I can do anything, you know? I said the thing about my first night ride, it was I was like, I'm going on a rocket ship to space, and those were the stars at the top. And, you know, I've had so many moments with, like, every different friend group and every, like, I don't know, like, significant time period of my life. I've, like, come here with the people that matter most to me, and I've gotten to experience this with them. And just, it sucks that this is how it's going, but there's the thing is I was going to be sad whether they gave us a year warning or a day. It didn't really matter. My analogy I've been using, this is how I know I'm not well mentally. You do that. So I've been kind of doing this weird, like, dialogue where this is like my version of the Lion King. So the corporate is Scar, bad guy. And then we have Kingda Ka is Mufasa, and El Toro is Simba, and he's like giving him this speech of like, watch over my land for me, and and like, this is my kingdom, and I'm giving it to you now, and it's your job to keep it safe and keep it happy. And I need a lot of mental help. I'm really sorry, guys.
No,
Well, I think everyone in this community
I'm crying over a roller coaster. Hello.
For the first time in my life, I cried on a roller coaster.
I wish I could say that was the first time.
But like most people, when they like cry on a roller coaster, it's because it like really scared them or something. And like that was like when we did that last launch, I was like, it really because before then it was just like, let's get as many rides as we can. But then that last time, it was like this is it, and that's when I just felt all sorts of emotions. Like I haven't been coming here as long as you have, Sarah, but like I took my first ride on that with my dad when I was like real small. Like honestly, I wish he could be here to like see this. He's not dead. He's just in Virginia. Like
To clarify,
he's just fine.
Shout out, Lynn baby.
But like it just same thing. So many memories. He's great. I love my dad.
We love him.
But like one of my favorite memories is like I came here in 2017 once with my friends Alec and Adam, and we got here and there was like a layer of fog, probably 200 feet in the air, and so we're sitting on the launch track. And you can't see the entire second half. And it was like one of the coolest things ever. Like when I think of like some of the coolest experiences I've had like at theme parks, like Kingda Ka absolutely fills like one of those spots, like just from one experience or another, like 10 years now of riding it. And like it's there at the end, like knowing that you'll never go over that top hat again. That was really, really sad.
And just like, we're just never going to see a coaster like this again. This is, it's the end of an era of like, you know, hydraulic launches and just huge, tall, one-trick kind of coasters like this. And they were an amazing time. And I'm so thankful that I got to ride two of them, I guess, technically, if you want to, this and Dragster. So I feel really lucky. And like I said, I was going to be sad no matter what. So
it's just the sentimental attachment. It's an amazing ride, but we're not here pretending it's the best in the world or anything. Like, man, that thing's pretty shaky going up the top.
I think we all just have like a special moment with it, you know, like that makes it mean something than over other rides, you know.
It's historically significant. It's held the record for so long. Like, and
I have to laugh through the pain. I'm sorry.
No, that's totally valid.
I'm really, really bad at goodbyes, so I'm just going to say, see you later, King.
Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Long live the King. If the ride is still open when you're watching this, we encourage you to come out here and get your last rides in. If you've never experienced it, you should.
Bring your tissues.
Yeah.
You should.
And your Advil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a headache now from all those laps, I'm not gonna lie.
There was a guy that rode it like 104 times.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Just today.
Shout out to him. The guy in the Kings Island jacket.
Never
you know
caught
who
his
you
name,
are.
but yeah, you were awesome. Well, on that note.
Yeah, we may disagree with this decision, but we're so glad we could come out here to do it one more time. So, with all that being said, we hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye, old friend.
Long live the King!
Long live the King!